Now,
Yeah.
when you were modeling, did you stay home or did it turn into something a little bigger where you were traveling internationally, or how did that work out?
I was very short for a model. I'm 5'4.5" now, and I didn't stop growing till I was about 21. So when I started modeling at 17, I was even shorter than that, and that is way too short for a model. But I got a fantastic gig as the face of a huge makeup company in Japan.
Oh,
so I used to go and spend months out of every year working in Japan on my own, no internet. There wasn't even any UK or English television channels in Japan at the time. So
and how was that?
How old were you at, like 18, 19, that kind of?
17.
17 when you booked that. Wow.
I know.
And you went without anybody.
Yeah.
Wow.
That must have,
I used to write letters home, and wait for them to write back. It was
what a different
process.
world we live in now. Oh my goodness.
well, and at that time,
that's awesome.
At that time, did they acknowledge the fact, oh, you're 17, here are the people, like, did they set you up in a way that you felt safe, or was just like, hey, here's your keys to, or did they put you in a model house? Those kind of things. I know a lot about modeling, but yeah.
Put me in a hotel. So
okay.
it was fine. And I learned a bit of Japanese because only one person would speak English. So I had to, in order to communicate with anybody else other than her, I had to, so I spoke a little Japanese. Couldn't read it because good grief. I mean, that is difficult. Sure. And we did a big campaign in France, in Paris. So we traveled a bit as well with the Japanese crew. I mean, it was fascinating, and I took it completely for granted because it was my first modeling job. So, this is modeling, okay,
right? Yeah.
But it was a really big deal in Japan that even the jingle from the first commercial that we did went to number 4 in the charts or something nutty like that. So,
jingle?
Wow, that's amazing.
I know. So I became a bit of a minor celebrity in Japan.
Yeah.
It was very odd. You'd walk around and there'd be these huge billboards where, even one nostril of mine was 2 foot.
Wow.
It made me realize that modeling wasn't particularly the thing I wanted to do with my life, because whilst it was a great job to have, you don't really need much of a brain to be a model, and therefore they kind of assume that you don't have one.
That's true.
And that gets a bit frustrating after a while. So I thought I'd go into acting.
Well, that's good. How did you make that transition into acting?
Oh yeah, the smartest people around are known to be actors.
Yes. And they really respect our brains, don't they?
Yeah, sure. I was saying
all the time.
You must have grown a bigger brain or something to get into acting. I don't know what happened.
But no, so that transition was, again, ridiculously easy, because easier than it should have been, because I went to see an agent and they said, have you any experience acting? No. Any training? No. Right, we'll take you on, which was surprising. Exactly.
Well, what's funny is nowadays they're like, oh, a fresh face. Yes. Like,
I think that's what they were thinking with a British accent. That's kind of cute.
Was that in the States though, or
no? This was in the UK, but I went to the States and had similar experience. With the fresh face thing. But the first audition they sent me to was for the female lead in a big feature film, and I got the part.
Oh my goodness!
So I'm thinking like, nice.
Yeah, this is easy. Billboards, movies. Come on.
Yeah.
But of course, I soon realized that I didn't know much about acting and had a lot to learn. But it was a fantastic experience. I had obviously learned a little bit from modeling. I had learned something about acting from that, but not much. The one thing I did learn was that it's an interesting environment to be around other women and men who are in that business, and it was very competitive, and modeling was, and I found acting to be much more helpful, generally speaking. But modeling world was quite nasty. And there was one girl in particular on this, I did a commercial for Polaroid cameras. And this one girl was so mean to me. So mean. And, you know, I was 17. Actually, I think I was even 16 at the time. So it was uncalled for, I think. But the good news was that a year later, when I got this big job in the feature film, my first acting job, and I'd been there for about a month. We shot it at Pinewood Studios. I mean, it was extraordinary, and they looked after me really well. And I walk in and I see a picture of this girl, the one who'd been so nasty to me, on the wall. And I said, what's she doing here? And they said, oh, she starts tomorrow. She plays your slave.
That's awesome.
Oh, amazing.
She had to kneel at my feet.
Oh my goodness. That is.
There's a lesson in that, isn't there?
Yeah, there sure is.
Please subscribe to our YouTube channel.